Hi guys, happy July. This last month since coming back on YouTube, we've been doing a lot of catching up. So we went over my current makeup collection, my favorites with makeup and skincare, and all of that. And now I wanted to go over pretty much my holy grail products. I went back and watched my 3 best of the year videos. So that would be, gosh, 2015, 2014, and 2013. Seems like a long time ago, but I did skip 16 and 17 because I was away from YouTube at the time. So I went through those products, wrote down the ones that I still use, and put them in an order. I'm going to start off with the ones that were featured in 1 of the 3 videos, and then the ones that were featured in 2 of the 3, and there was only 1 product that was featured in all 3 of my best of the year videos, and I still love it to this day. And I think it's important to talk about products like this because we are constantly being marketed or sold the next best thing, right? We are seeing new foundations, new powders, new concealers constantly, and it can be really hard to keep up sometimes. But these are products that have been around with me for years. I was originally going over my monthly favorites, but then I figured if I truly loved a product, it would have been featured in an annual best of video. So that is how I compiled this list today, and it worked out. We're gonna start off with the first product. The first one is a lipstick I'm wearing right now, and I featured it in my best of 2015. It is Milani's Matte Naked. In that video, I said that it was a big deal because this replaced Revlon Primrose as my favorite lipstick of all time. And some of you are so funny in the comments of my makeup collection video, my last post. You guys were saying that it was such a shock to not see Revlon Primrose in there. And that's so true because I honestly don't know what happened to it. In the last 2 years while I've been away from YouTube, I did, or at least I believe I did, repurchase Primrose. But I don't know what happened to it. I almost like remember being at Ulta buying Primrose. So I don't know if it's like at the bottom of my car somewhere or just like somewhere in this room, but at the same time I didn't think about it too much because this has been my ride or die lipstick the last 2-3 years. I've gone through, I would say, 2 or 3 tubes of this at this point, and it's the one that I always have in my handbags. If my lips look a little dry, I can wear this and it looks perfectly fine. If my lips are fine, it makes them look even better. It's pretty much the magic lipstick, which is what I said before, and it's still the same to this day. I think the formula is amazing. When you press your lips together, it still has a nice creamy consistency, so it's very comfortable. But something to keep in mind is all of these matte lipsticks by them are not created equal. There is a lighter shade of nude called Matte Innocence, and that one is not as good. It's pretty patchy, it makes your lips look dry, and I just don't really like that one. I believe a lot of people can wear this lipstick and treat it the same way in the makeup bag, almost like an emergency lipstick, and it will really deliver each time. With Primrose, since some of you were asking, it is a gorgeous shade. I love that color, but the formula is not nearly as good as this one. That one, sometimes if my lips are a little bit too dry, it will accentuate the dryness. It will show off the cracked lips. But this one, I don't know how it does it, but it will magically camouflage any issues that I have on my lips and just make them look really smooth. This next one was also featured in Best of 2015, and it is Milani again. It is the Illuminating Face Powder in Amber Nectar. It's the product I used today as blush, although it's not really marketed as a blush. I love wearing it on my cheeks because it really sculpts the face and it gives you color without trying too hard. It doesn't really come off like you're wearing a blush. It just looks like your face naturally has that shape. And the thing with this powder is it doesn't swatch well, it doesn't come across like it has a lot of pigment, so a lot of people at first could be pretty disappointed by it. But if you take a blush brush to your cheeks and just kind of start to sculpt out your cheeks, almost like if you were to contour, but you would never want to bring your contour over here because it'd be a little bit too harsh. This is where you can kind of start blending your bronzer and contour into your cheeks, and it finishes the job for you. And overall, it just looks like a seamless contour. So it's what I have today. I have it on my cheeks, and then I have a bronzer up here. And I think it's such a great way to add color to your face, sculpt your face without looking like you tried. So as much as I possibly can, I like to go for a natural look where it's not obvious that I have a blush and a contour and a bronzer and a highlight. I like it to all just kind of melt into the skin. So this does a really great job and I love it to this day. And it doesn't hurt that the packaging is really pretty. There are two other shades to this. So there is Beauty's Touch, which is a pink, and then Hermosa Rose, which is a bronze. And all three of them are beautiful in their own way. They give you that really nice, almost undetectable color to the cheeks, and I still recommend them. So I quickly wanted to address something in terms of Milani because some of you were a little concerned in my makeup collection video that I didn't have Milani Baked Blush anymore. Well, if you go back to my best of 2015, my favorite blush at that point was something that is now discontinued. It is Maybelline Master Highlight. Do you guys remember those? I am so sad they don't make those anymore, but that was my favorite blush. And ever since then, I did kind of start going this neutral route of making it look like I'm not wearing a lot of blush. So over time, when my makeup started to expire, I didn't replace those blushes, and I was really going this route anyway. So I've been fine without them. But I did pick up Milani Baked Blush again today because some of you guys were like, where are they? And I actually coincidentally had some in my Ulta bag already, but I ended up going to a Target today and I saw some plus 2 shades that I'd never had before. They're newer. So I wanted to test them out again, and also because you guys were asking for a blush video, I do know that Milani Baked blushes are great. I just personally chose not to replace them right away, but I have them again. So not all of them, but some. So I just wanted to address that because some of you were a little concerned about it, and I thought it was kind of funny, but I appreciate you guys having great memory and for remembering what I like. I have 2 concealers to talk about, and they are no surprise, I'm sure, but the first one is Maybelline Better Skin, and this one was featured in my best of 2015. I have 2 shades, Light and Ivory. The shade Light is the one that's perfect for me all over the face, under my eyes, and if I want to just stick with that for the day because I'm running out of time, this is perfect. If I have a little bit more time, I will add Ivory under the eyes and it will help brighten it up even more. These are extremely creamy, very easy to work with, and I also used the Maybelline Fit Me concealer back in the day, but that one over time started to make my under eyes feel really itchy, so I stuck with Better Skin. I have no issues with it and I continue to repurchase. Now we're getting into the products that were featured in 2 of the 3 best of videos, and the first one is the other concealer. It is NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. These were featured in my best of 2014 and best of 2015, and quite honestly, they would probably have been mentioned in 2016 and 2017 if I was filming then too. There was a period though when I tried Tarte Shape Tape, and I do like Tarte Shape Tape, but it's a little too much for me if I had to choose between them. Like if I could just buy everything and have everything, I would have both. But because I wanted to just choose one or the other when I was making my purchases, I went with NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. It's a little bit more manageable for me, not as thick, and although Tarte is very much full coverage, I do prefer a bit of a more natural look, which is what NARS gives me. And the 3 shades that I have, which I know is a little excessive, are Cannelle, Creme Brûlée, and Vanilla. Cannelle is a little bit more peach and a little bit deeper than my skin, so I like to use that under the eyes to correct. Creme Brûlée is perfect for all over the face, and then Vanilla is brightening, so I like to focus that on the inner part of my under eye. The next 2 are powders. This one is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in Diffused Light. It is a pale yellow. Look how beautiful this brand new one is. It's so pretty. Because this one is about to run out. That one's not so pretty. This was featured in my best of 2014 and best of 2015, and it is because it does me so many favors for under the eyes. I love using this under the eyes to brighten, and to balance it out, I will add a little bit on my forehead and on my chin, and it brings so much light to the face, and it does have a bit of a sheen without it having shimmer. Really, it's like a glow. There's a glow happening. So it just adds a lot of dimension and makes your skin look very healthy. So this is kind of like the Milani powder where you can't really tell what it's doing until you put it on. It is what I'm wearing today right in here, and sometimes I think I don't need it when I'm running out the door, but I'm like, let me just add a little bit. And I'm like, yes. Oh my gosh, it makes such a big difference, especially when you do one side and not the other. It just makes a major difference. So I highly recommend it if you've been looking for something under the eye and you just don't really know where to start. I love the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powders. Another one that I used to love was Dim Light, and I just haven't made the purchase again, but I would like to at some point. I really like Dim Light too. This next one is a lot more affordable, but it is my ride or die. If I had to choose only one powder forever, it would be this. It is Neutrogena Shine Control, and I feature this in my Best of 2013 and Best of 2015. This is my... Sorry, Winston is like killing me right now. This is my favorite powder for setting the face after foundation. I love my loose powders, but sometimes it could get a little bit fussy with the cap and the pouring it out and everything. So this one for me is the No Fuss powder. In the morning, if I want a really quick look, I will dust this all over my face to set my foundation, and it has never disappointed me. And this last product is the only one that has been featured in all three of my best of videos, 2013, 2014, 2015, and it is still my holy grail foundation. It is Diorskin Forever. I was using this before I even started YouTube, when I was just writing on a blog. And just for a little bit, we did go through a small breakup because a couple years ago they reformulated this and I didn't want to try it right away. I was a little skeptical. My skin is very sensitive, and anytime any formula discontinues or gets reformulated, I'm really bummed out and I'm like, oh my gosh, do I have to start over again? Because it's really hard for me to find products that don't break me out. And I ended up trying the Too Faced Born This Way foundation, which was fine, but I didn't think it really sat on my skin nearly as well as this. So I decided to repurchase, and really in the last 2 years, haven't you guys seen so many people talk about this? I was like, wow, people are getting on board with this foundation. It's gotten really popular with the new formula. So I wanted to try it out, and honestly, I can't tell the difference. I think the old formula and the new formula for me are the same. I love it just as much as I used to before. This is the one I'm using right now. I just can't be without this foundation. I'm pretty sure I already have to purchase a new one, and this one's not even that old. I use it pretty freaking often. I use it in the shade 010, which I believe is the lightest shade, so if anything, they should be making shades that are a little bit lighter than this. It's a medium coverage with a satin finish, and I think it even has a really nice smell. It's like a cucumber scent compared to, like, for example, the Estee Lauder Double Wear, which smells like paint. This one actually has a nice scent to it, but it's not irritating. I have very sensitive skin, and this has done me no wrong. I could apply this with a brush or a sponge, but I really love using sponges, so I still use the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge or the L'Oreal Pink Sponge, or even just like a beauty wedge that you can get at Ulta. That is a foundation I will say is worth the money. And that foundation completes the list of my, I guess we could say, holy grail products that have really been around for years, stood the test of time. And it really goes both ways, because for me as a consumer, I keep buying these over and over again because they fit into my lifestyle. And then for the company, they're not discontinuing these products. They're here to stay. And that says a lot, because so many things get put on the shelves only to be gone a year later. So I would love to know from you guys, what are the products that have really stuck around with you? What have you been buying for years? And maybe you did try that other foundation or that other powder at some point, but then you went back to the original. Or maybe this will inspire you to think about your old favorites. Do you need to repurchase them? Or maybe they're just sitting in the back of your collection and you can just bring them forward. So that's it for today, guys. I do post videos on Sundays and Thursdays, so if you are interested, please subscribe and hit the notification bell, and I will see you guys on Thursday. Bye.